Hello, I'm Robert Lawson with NUCAT News right here in New Ulm. In local news, New Ulm City Council approved the upcoming Flying Dutchman Hill Climb event just outside town. Crazy Days took place a couple weekends ago in New Ulm and played a special tribute to a local legend. Concerts in the park are going strong this summer with a continuous lineup of local acts. Spiking in the Street took place on a sanded over street in New Ulm. Citizens unite to paint over hate symbols at New Ulm's Art Wall Park, and a downtown building that previously hosted events and weddings is now for sale. In state news, House Democrats rally behind Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as Vice President Kamala Harris considers her running mate for the 2024 presidential election. Minnesota Supreme Court's new ruling, retreat before brandishing a weapon, even in self-defense. A restorative justice coalition collaborates with Hennepin County Attorney for criminal legal reforms. And in national news, former President Trump criticizes the U.S.-Russia prisoner swap as a win for Putin and questions the Biden administration's handling of the deal. Kamala Harris' campaign raised $310 million in July, more than doubling Trump's fundraising for the month. And former DeRidder, Louisiana Mayor Misty Roberts has been charged with raping a juvenile days after her sudden resignation. Welcome to NUCAT News. I'm Robert Lawson. The New Ulm City Council recently approved the upcoming Flying Dutchman Motorcycle Club Hill Climb event just outside town. Each year for many years running, the club has gotten motocross enthusiasts, competitors, and spectators alike together for the competition in which several classes of motorbikes compete in a hill climb competition. The Crazy Days celebration took place in New Ulm a couple weekends ago. Several people, including many local musicians, took the opportunity to celebrate a local legend with song and dance. The festivities are part of an annual event. A local New Ulm musical icon, Alan Smiley Wilczek, died at his home at age 76 in late June. Many musicians performed to celebrate his life and achievements. The Concert in the Park series in New Ulm continues throughout the summer. The events feature a variety of music styles and performances. Recent concerts have included the Municipal Band, Ulmer Quartet, Ken and Ken, Concord Singers, and others. The sand was laid for an athletic event in town. New Ulm's Spiking in the Street event involves pouring sand along a section of a downtown street in New Ulm where volleyball games and competitions are held. Spectators watched from the sidewalk and cheered participants as they competed for local volleyball bragging rights. In response to a rise in racist and hate-filled graffiti in New Ulm, citizens have banded together to remove offensive symbols from New Ulm's Art Wall Park. Spearheaded by Allie Gibbs and Samantha Kump, volunteers painted over hate speech targeting LGBTQ and ethnic groups. The new Facebook New Ulm Art Wall Peacekeepers has been formed to organize monitoring and removal efforts. The community's goal is to keep the park safe and welcoming for all, replacing hate messages with positive ones. Volunteers are encouraged to join and help maintain a hate-free environment. The Franklin Event Center in downtown New Ulm is now for sale. The same building is also home to the Rush Rooftop Restaurant. In state news, Vice President Kamala Harris chose her running mate, whom House Democrats increasingly advocated for, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Walz, who served in Congress for 12 years and became the top Democrat on the Veterans Affairs Committee, is seen as a strong asset due to his Midwestern roots, military background, and liberal policy record. Representative Jim McGovern praised Walz for his authenticity and effectiveness as a leader, while Representative Pramila Jayapal highlighted his pro-strong labor stance. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other House members also expressed support for Walz, citing his popularity and bipartisan respect. The Democratic National Convention will take place August 19th through the 22nd. In a 4-2 split decision, the Minnesota Supreme Court ruled that individuals must attempt to retreat before brandishing a deadly weapon in self-defense if it is, quote, reasonably possible. This ruling stemmed from a 2021 altercation involving Early Romero Blevins, who brandished a machete during a confrontation. Justice Margaret Chudich, authoring the majority opinion, emphasized that escalating situations with deadly weapons without attempting to retreat first is unsound. Dissenting Justice Paul Thyssen called the ruling unprecedented in American judicial history, arguing that it deviates from long-standing principles of self-defense. The case raises significant implications for gun owners and self-defense laws in Minnesota. A coalition of community groups, including Color of Change, Minneapolis NAACP, Tone Up and Minnesota Wrongfully Convicted Judicial Reform has partnered with Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty to provide transparency and accountability in the criminal justice system. The coalition aims to connect community with Moriarty's office to push for reforms addressing racial bias and police accountability. Moriarty, who campaigned on criminal justice reform, faces criticism for lenient plea deals in youth crime cases. Both the coalition and Moriarty's office are committed to working together to implement restorative justice practices and improve community relations, they say. In national news, former President Donald Trump criticized the recent U.S.-Russia prisoner swap, labeling it a win for Putin and slamming the Biden administration's foreign policy as incompetent. Speaking on Mornings with Maria, Trump expressed doubts about the complexity and terms of the deal, suggesting it was not in America's best interest. He also claimed that such detainments would not have occurred under his administration and raised concerns that the exchange could incentivize other countries to detain more Americans. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, however, assured that no money or sanctions were involved in the negotiations. Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential campaign announced a record-breaking $310 million raised in July, more than doubling former President Donald Trump's $138.7 million haul for the same month. Harris' campaign highlighted that over $200 million was raised in the first week following her candidacy announcement, with significant support from first-time donors. The surge in fundraising underscores the transformative effect of Harris' addition to the Democratic ticket, with the campaign now boasting $377 million cash on hand. The influx of donations has also pushed Democratic fundraising past the $1 billion mark faster than any campaign in U.S. history. Former DeRidder, Louisiana Mayor Misty Dawn Clanton Roberts has been charged with third-degree rape and contributing to the delinquency of juveniles following her abrupt resignation just a week ago. The 42-year-old was arrested and released on a $75,000 bond after Louisiana State Police investigated allegations of sexual relations with a juvenile. The charges came after interviews with two juveniles, one of whom confirmed the incident while Roberts was mayor. Roberts maintains her innocence, and her attorney emphasized her constitutional presumption of innocence. Roberts, who became DeRidder's first female mayor in 2018, resigned July 27th, citing a need to readjust her focus and priorities. That's your local, state, and national news. From the NUCAT studio in New Ulm, I'm Robert Lawson.